Official historiography presents the past as a messy, unpredictable chain of random events and human decisions. But when you look closely at the data, that randomness vanishes. It's replaced by a deliberate, desk-drawn construction, a coded, generated lore file. The theory proposes that the operating system of our reality actually went online during the Renaissance. To give the newly booted world context, and to give its populations a reason to exist, the system had to retroactively generate hundreds of years of fabricated backstory. This infographic maps the specific dataset we are going to audit, the timeline of the Holy Roman Emperors crowned by the Pope. Notice how the timeline is perfectly bracketed. It opens with Charlemagne in the year 800, and it closes with Charles V in 1530. Between those two bookends, the code relies on three hard-coded variables. First, there are exactly 31 emperors programmed to rule during this papal-sanctioned window. Second, look at their identities. These 31 rulers share a total of only 13 unique first names. The system appears to be recycling a limited pool of character assets to save memory. Then we reach the final variable. If you take the sum of their reigns following their papal coronations, without any overlap, it totals exactly 403 years. 31 emperors, 13 names. Multiplied together, they form a perfect equation. 31 times 13 equals exactly 403. Statistical chance rarely allows for this level of precision across 7 centuries. This equation suggests the imperial timeline wasn't recorded as it happened, but drafted after the fact to fit a pre-existing numerical blueprint. Phase 1 is the Carolingian alpha build. It starts with Charlemagne, the flawless, overpowered unifier. But utopias stall narratives. Designers introduce a system failure, a deliberate error. Dynastic civil wars under Louis and Lothar fracture the empire, providing the engineered decay necessary for a complete reboot. In Phase 2's Ottonian rebuild, developers injected a massive software bug to keep the timeline moving, the existential struggle between emperor and pope. Henry IV's humiliation at Canossa isn't human tragedy. It's a scripted center glitch, a localized conflict forcing the simulation forward. The rapid collapse of dynasties and the bitter institutional battles were injected parameters. The code required constant, engineered friction to keep the timeline running. In Phase 3's Stauffer era, developers overclock the engine, spawning overpowered hero avatars. Frederick Barbarossa fights decades of scripted wars. Frederick II pushes the papal conflict to its extreme, bloodlessly capturing Jerusalem while excommunicated. These are exaggerated achievements of a fictional narrative nearing climax. Phase 4 represents system reorganization. The empire's universal claims are replaced by secular frameworks. The Golden Bull of 1356 rewrites succession, permanently severing imperial code from papal influence. This isn't a political compromise. It's the operating system isolating variables, preparing for the final boot sequence. The epic crusades, the legendary hero kings, the massive legislative milestones, they all serve the same function. The code was escalating to a peak output right before an inevitable pre-planned server wipe. The dataset begins its final shutdown protocol with Emperor Maximilian I. By officially assuming the title of elected Roman emperor without a march on Rome, he effectively disconnects the server, rendering the requirement of a papal coronation entirely obsolete. This interface tracks the data. Maximilian cleared the cache, staging conditions for Charles V. In 1530, Charles executes the final papal coronation, permanently closing the 403-year loop. Notice the absolute symmetry. A ruler named Charles initialized the simulation, and a Charles terminated it. When we find inconsistencies in medieval records, we aren't looking at monks lying in their scriptoriums. We are looking at copy-paste failure im algorithmus, literal copy-paste errors in the algorithm, deployed to quickly pad out a 403-year timeline. The Renaissance marks the transition point, the moment version 1.0 of our reality went live, populating the world with a high-fidelity present and backfilled history. History books function more effectively as technical manuals. They document the parameters, the assets, and the hard-coded constraints of the system we currently inhabit. The Matrix left a massive trail of data right out in the open. The glitch is there. You just have to know how to read the numbers.